Here we are, Roadside Rescue, dealing with a problem that another shop left us on this vehicle. We'll see if we can get it figured out. Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm where whenever they were done, whatever they did, they informed him that they couldn't get his lug nuts off because they were stripped out or hard to get off or something. So we're going to try and get them off, and we'll see how it goes. So I've got a few things to take, stuck lug nuts off. Okay, so here we are. The shop's given us a couple little problems out of it so far, so we're going to see what we can do. But it looked like they smashed a 12-point socket down on them, which will cause some big issues. What it'll end up doing is cramp that lug nut down onto that stud, onto that lug, and it makes it super hard to come off. So hopefully they didn't get cramped down too hard, but we'll see how it goes, if we can get these off or not. Okay, so here we are in the truck. I got my little one with me, but I filmed this whole video. I'm just going to preface it a little bit. I filmed the whole video with two possible outcomes. I'll preface the story just a little bit better since I've got it all fresh on my mind. My customer went this morning to and he had bought his tires there, had them mounted there at the shop where he normally is at, and he was at right now. So he went up to the shop and was just going to get them rotated because they'll rotate them for free. And they offered him, a balance on top of it, and he said, sure, why not? I'll pay you for your work. That way you don't do it for free. So he's going to get his tires balanced, rebalanced while he was there, and rotated. And they were going to charge him about $60 to do that. It was $57, I believe. And so however much longer it took, half an hour later, they came back and got him, and they said, we weren't able to remove your tires because the lug nuts were messed up. And so the manager there said, look, I was the one who personally tried to take off the lug nuts, and the very first one we tried, the wrench wouldn't fit on there, so we stopped. And so you're going to have to take it to a mechanic. And so my customer went and looked at the car, and all these lug nuts were just completely messed up. You'll see here in the video in just a minute. We went through before we took any of them off and looked at them. They had busted the caps off of two of them, smacked a bunch of 12-point sockets on the other ones, just completely messed up. And it wasn't like this previously. My customer always inspects the vehicle after he has work done on it, and was able to assure me that the lug nuts were perfectly fine. So you'll see in the video how messed up they were, but the problem was the story came out from two different people, two different stories. The service manager said he personally put the wrench on, but the technician who was working on it also told my customer that he was the one who tried to do it. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. All right, so we got two of those lug nuts off, just one of those lug nuts off. Just kidding. We got two of them here, so these two came out. All right, so we got two lug nuts here. We're gonna go get the reverse threader that takes these lug nuts off when they get messed up. And the other shop was pretty adamant about it not being their fault because this is a common issue. So here we are. We'll do a walk around. We just got that lug nut remover, so we've taken off two lug nuts. We'll give you a look at everything that they've done here. Some of these look okay, like this one, for example. You can see there looks fine, and pretty much on every tire there's one or two that look like this, where you can see they've smashed a 12-point socket on there, and this one even quite a bit worse. And just for good measure, we'll put a light on here, and we'll do this to every tire so you can see exactly what we're dealing with. Let's see if you can see that a little better. Yeah, so if you can see that, just completely destroyed. So there's two on that tire. Here they've replaced these two lug nuts. They've smashed a 12-point on this one. That one looks like it might be okay. That one's had something done to it. The whole cap of that smashed. So this one may not come off. This one's probably not coming off. That one may come off. I'm gonna smash down with the 12-point socket. And that's the problem with these. It just makes me sick looking at them. When you smash them with the 12-point socket, it really just cramps them down on those studs and makes them so hard to remove. I've seen people have to cut their whole rims off because they couldn't do it. So this one was hit with the 12-point. That one looks fine. Hit with the 12-point, looks fine. A little marred up, but looks like it might come off. So we'll start on the back here, right over here, and then we'll work our way around, but might turn into quite the project. Okay, so update. We assumed that they had replaced 2 of these lug nuts on the other side. These have caps on them. That's the big problem with these, is they get caps. Especially if you live in a rust prone place, they'll get really messed up. But they didn't obviously didn't say anything about replacing or messing those up either. They just kind of left them as they were on the other side. But they had ripped the caps off 2 of those. But so far we've gotten 3 off of this side, so we're gonna go ahead and try to get these other 2. You just never want to smash them down. That's the one thing that'll get you in trouble. You just want to, you know, go carefully with the equipment designed to remove these, and do not smash them down. You'll seize them up right onto that lug. So here we go. We'll see if we can get these last 2 off. I'll probably end up ripping this one off with that reverse threaded attachment. But now that this one's exposed, it should be an 18mm or a standard, and you'll get in trouble because people will think it's a metric, and they'll just smash the next smallest size down on there, and that's where you really get in trouble smashing that one down. So just make sure you get the right size. Okay, 18. Impact's gonna be best. Okay. Okay, here we are. It's hot. I've got my Milwaukee fan, and we got all these out without messing anything up. Again, just never want to smash onto those. Biggest mistake you can make. You know, you'll want to start using a chisel and stuff before you ever get to that point. But we did get all these off without having to heat anything up or mess anything up. No marks in here. You know, we didn't use a chisel, but you know, if you have to use a chisel, you get a mark in there. It's probably not going to affect the integrity of the rim, but you know, you want to be careful. The one thing to note, if you do heat this tire up, you cannot heat a rim up with the plug in the tire. So you have to let all the pressure out of the tire, and they make a little tool to remove the inside of this valve stem here, the little seal. You have to take those out if you're going to heat up this rim, because you might not notice the pressure building at first, but sometimes it takes 30 minutes for the heat to get out to this tire, and it can build the pressure up to 200 psi in these tires. I've seen them explode, but the biggest thing is if you just get them that high pressure, then they're likely to fail down the road. So you just cannot risk doing that. You got to take the valve stem out, that little seal in there, or let all the pressure out and just constantly check your pressure. You know, half an hour after you're done, it might start building. So best thing to do is just take that out. But we got these out. We're going to put the new lug nuts on. We were just able to do it carefully, and then we'll move on to the next 3 tires. So here's the brand we're using of lug nuts, this 𝐸𝑞𝑔𝑎𝑟𝑑 Premium. They're guaranteed not to chip, peel, or rust. They are chrome plated, but they're just a solid lug nut. I've replaced a lot of people's lug nuts with these. I've never had any issues. Not to say obviously you can't mess them up or do something weird, but I've had good luck with these. So I'll leave a link in the description down below if I can find these on Amazon. But I've replaced them with these and never had any issues. So yeah, here's the cap of that lug nut that likes to come off. This is where people get into an issue, is this cap will come loose, they'll smash them down, or they'll take it off and they'll notice it's a size smaller, so then they'll just smash a 12 point on it. But you got to find the right size for that lug nut underneath that bottom shell. Let's see where that old one is. Anyways, just the size that goes underneath there. So just make sure you get the right size. If you do get that cap off, don't stress about it. It's probably one of the better things you can do, is get down to that solid lug nut underneath and just get the right size on there and get it off. Here we go, 105 foot-pounds. Get this one tightened down and move on to the last 3 tires. Okay, that'll do it. Those are nice and solid, holding that tire on well. Oh, on to the next sets. Okay, so on this side, we did get all these caps off except for this one, and the cap face actually broke off of this one, if you can see that. So let's see, the rest of the cap's on there. I'm gonna push it back with the chisel so we can expose this nut under there, and then we'll be able to get our 18mm on there and pull that right off. Okay, so you can see there we've got that mushroomed back. Let's see. And now we'll be able to fit our 18mm on there and pull it right out. And there you have it. That's what it looked like. We'll check the brakes while we're under here, and then we'll get these new lug nuts back on. Okay, same thing on this side. One of the caps came off. One we're gonna mushroom back. So you can see that. All the others came off. No big issues. Actually, this one was a little bit more interesting because rather than stick that smaller socket on there that's gonna extract it, because the bigger one wouldn't fit, they had already smashed the cover so much, I went ahead and just cut the top off with this chisel, and I'm gonna go ahead and mushroom it back rather than press that extra small one on there first. So we'll try this first. Like I said, you just want to eliminate the chances of having to squish that lug nut down onto that stud. So squish back nice. About to like not to come out. There you go. Got started wobbling. There it is. That's all of them. We got them all off. Luckily, no super major incidences. If I don't tell you anything about the shop down below, that's because they took care of us. So don't worry about it. You can speculate all you want in the comments, but we were taken care of. So this is a job well done. This is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next episode.